Hello learners, Jule, Tashidile, Namaste. Welcome to the MOOC course on Buddhist tourism. I am Dr. Gurmeet Dorje. In this video, we will learn about Buddhist monuments in Ladakh, important archaeological sites and its history. Ladakh, situated in the Himalayas on the far northern frontier of India, it is not easily accessible, relatively being isolated among its mountain and often closed, particularly between October and June. During ancient times, many nomadic tribes like Mon, Dards migrated through Himalayan region. It was during this time the Mons and the Dards constructed many of the castles and patronized the artisans. Ladakh is land having historical remains of Buddhism, has preserved a glorious heritage apparently concealed among different forgotten monasteries which are located in rocky mountains and valleys. Monasteries serve as an epicenter of Buddhist society where students used to get education and religious enlightenment. Besides, these monasteries serve as source of the valuable records. After the decline of Tibetan emperor, Tibet was divided among three prince brothers in 1020 CE. One of them moved to Ladakh and founded the first royal dynasty of Ladakh. When Tibetan Buddhism experienced a new height of popularity in eastern neighboring kingdom of Guge, this rejuvenation affected Ladakh too. Its shrines, monasteries, and the way the religion sharply pervaded the people's way of life gave clear evidence of this phenomenon. In many cases, the old shrines of earlier born religion were transformed into Buddhist monasteries. According to popular belief, Ashoka's missionaries are believed to have penetrated into Ladakh and propagated Buddhism in about 3rd century BCE, and later Buddhism is said to have been firmly rooted in Ladakh from 1st century CE. Kushan king Kanishka first sent 500 Buddhist missionaries to Tibet and Ladakh for the propagation of the faith. Fayin, the Chinese pilgrim, mentions the flourishing state of the region in Ladakh in 400 CE. According to him, the doctrine of Hinayana sect or lesser vehicle of Buddhism prevailed in Ladakh. However, Mahayana form of Buddhism was also introduced in the region later on. Lotsawa Ringchen Zangpo was one of the great religious preachers and also a well-known translator. He was primarily responsible for the revival of Buddhism in Tibet and Ladakh. He is still remembered as great founder of the stupas, monasteries, both in Ladakh and an ancient kingdom of Guge. A number of early texts attest that the Mauryan emperor Ashoka himself had sent missionaries to Kashmir, Gandhara region during the 3rd century BCE and introduced Buddhism in this region. The town of Srinagar itself is considered to have been established by Ashoka, who is said to have constructed numerous viharas and stupas in the region. Based on textual sources, it has been considered that the Mauryan king Ashoka became instrumental in disseminating Buddhism in the region. The Rajtarangini by Kalhana, a famous chronicle of Kashmir mentions religious endowment to Buddhists given by King Kashmendra. His son Surendra built a vihara. Kashmir is said to have had relation with Magadh and other Buddhist sites of North India since an early date. One of Surendra's vihara was at Sureka near Suruveli beyond the Zujila and hence on the doorstep of Zanskar. It was called Narendra Bhavan. Buddhism of this time would have resembled that of the contemporary Theravada because it is earlier than the development of Mahayana sect. The earliest monuments in Zanskar date back to Kushan period, 1st and 2nd century CE. Kanishka, the great Kushana emperor, ruled over northern India and Central Asia during the 1st century. Kushana patronage of Buddhism made Gandhara, as this area was called, into a second Magadh. This testified to extensive Buddhist penetration into Ladakh in the 7th 10th century. At Karse or Karsekhar and in Suru valleys are huge monumental carving of Maitreya over 25 feet. A huge bronze statue had been erected by King Lalitaditya of Kashmir in his capital, but the less affluent Buddhists of Ladakh apparently developed sculpture in stone, which has proven more resistance. Time ravages. Such monumental sculpture in Kashmir style is found only in western Ladakh. Groups or single figure of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of early Mahayana carved on the stone in surface reliefs are also found within the whole Ladakh region at Changspa, like Thikse, Padum, Stongde, Karsha, and Mune, testify to the immense antiquity of these places of Buddhist worship. Although the only evidence rests with a few inscriptions and a number of impressive rock carvings, we can safely assume that the Buddhism was established throughout Ladakh before the Tibetan influence began. We further observe the influence of Kashmir Buddhism continuing well beyond the time of their arrival. This monastery, particularly of Ladakh, played significant role in disseminating Buddhist faith and values education among the local people. The word Gompa or a monastery is literally combinations of two words. Gom means shunya or emptiness. Pa means place. It is an embodiment of earth, seat of Buddha. It is an embodiment of earthly seat of Buddha and other deities which make up Buddhist pantheon. A monastery also houses sacred texts and objects, kangyur, tangyur, and banner paintings like thankas. Monastic sculptures are generally built in isolation, away from the settlement, provided solitude for the monk, and the Gompa or the monasteries, where even today are center of intellectual and spiritual training of monks.